All right, here we go. Hey guys, welcome to day 9 of the 2021 Hope Summit. I am so excited to be here live with the Allergy Avenger herself, Miss Cheri Redgrave. She is amazing. She's multi-passionate, and she's here to share with you that you can take your unique passions and really create a movement and make a difference in the world. So I would love to introduce to you guys Miss Cheri Redgrave. Welcome, Cheri.
Thank you so much, Val.
I am so excited that you're here because, you are that type of woman. Like I was just sharing that you're very multi-passionate. You do so many different things. Like I am just fascinated by you and your mind because you're into music, you're into allergies. You have all of these really great passions that you've used to create so many different things. So can you share with us a little bit about you, and also, so people can get to know you who don't know you yet?
Sure. I've always suffered from autoimmune problems, but they always kind of stayed in the background. Never really thought about them too much. They didn't bother me day to day. It was just sort of something that was there that I lived with. But as I was getting older, the symptoms were getting much more severe. I went to both a gynecologist and a dermatologist, and they said, sorry, can't help you. Well, that doesn't make you feel good at all. So I ended up going to a nutritionist, and he said, well, have you been tested for allergies?
Huh.
And I said, no. And he said, well, sometimes allergies can make your symptoms worse. They won't make your problem go away, but it can make them better. So I said, sure, I'll take the test. It was a blood test, allergy test. And it came back, and this is 2016. It came back, and boy, my chart looked really good, with the exception of 4 things that were off the chart: wheat, dairy, eggs, and peas. Now, after swearing and cursing and doing everything for about 2 weeks, I totally jumped into it. I'm not one to do things halfway. So I totally immersed myself. I started reading about food labels. I read more food labels. It could fill a novel. And I was so disappointed because everything has egg, everything has wheat. It's just incredible. And now, of course, so many things have pea protein. I really have to watch out for it. So I decided I really couldn't eat out. I couldn't eat pre-prepared foods. I was going to have to cook for myself. Now, fortunately, I enjoy cooking, but I have to tell you, those first few months, there were some disasters. One of the first things I tried to make was bread, and I put it into a bread machine, and all I got out was lumps of crumbs, giant, just big lumps of crumbs. I didn't realize you couldn't use a standard bread maker if you didn't have gluten in your recipe, because you don't do the punch down if you don't have gluten. And I struggled for a while. The first year, I really floundered a lot. My poor husband. I really wanted to make food that he could eat and enjoy, that I could eat and enjoy, that we weren't eating 2 different things. Really couldn't eat out. Everything is sauteed or, have some kind of a butter mayo dressing or something. Finally, I started getting small victories. I discovered GF Jules flour, which you can buy from her website. And it's a 1-to-1 flour substitute. It works perfectly. You don't have to combine a bunch of different kinds of flours, because in order to make a substitute on flour, if you're doing it yourself, you need about 5 different kinds of flour. You can't just say, I'm going to use corn flour or I'm going to use rice flour. It just doesn't work. But here was a product that I could go with, and I started using that and found some good butter substitutes. And egg, well, egg, I became a chemist, because you have to know how the egg is used in a recipe before you can substitute for it. You know, is it used as a binder? You use it one way. Are you using the egg whites? Well, then you have to use a different product. You know, who knew that the liquid in chickpeas is equivalent to egg whites? Who knew?
Huh.
But you know, you learn and you grow and you go along. And I found that I had friends that found out they were gluten-free and had never been, and they said, tell me what to eat. And so I went to a Super Bowl party a year ago, not this year, but a year ago. And I made a list. I found out the foods that were going to be there. And I said, you can eat this one, this one, this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. And the person was so happy that they knew they could eat certain things. And I didn't have to think about it. And they said, why don't you make a quick start guide? And so I started doing that. I started making a quick start guide. And I met up with a friend of mine that's a chef. And she and I started working on some ideas on how to do these substitutions. And so we created a website called 2 Cooks, 4 Allergies. And it basically remakes classic things like flour tortillas without flour, or one of my favorites, which I call not mac nor cheese. And we make everything from desserts to main courses, enchiladas, just some lovely things that you can download. That's a free site. You can go out there and experiment with us. And it's basically, what is it that I want to eat that I don't know how to cook? And then I research it, try to figure it out, try to find out what substitutions work. Sometimes it's a multiple attempt. But if my husband says it's a 9 or better, then I figure I have a winner, because that's what we want. I want to be able to serve people food. I love to entertain. And I don't want them to say, oh, that's good for gluten-free or that's good for dairy-free. I want them to say, that's a good meal. And that's what I strive for. So being a glass half full kind of person, I said, why should allergies be a bad thing? I'm going to make it be an adventure.
Yes.
So my second website, which hopefully will publish this month, is called Cheri's Allergy Adventure. And I encourage people to come, and I'm going to have expert tell us things about allergies that you should know. There's going to be some quick start guides, how to keep your kitchen from cross-contaminating, how to travel, how to go to other people's houses and eat, as well as some cooking demos and question and answer. And it should just be a lot of fun.
I love that, because that's definitely, you know, the feel I get from your website you have now, the 2 Cooks, 4 Allergies. You guys go check it out if you're, you know, if you have any allergies, if you have a family member, because on cooking shows, you've got the video, you have the step-by-step process, the nutrition guides, all of those things are there, and it's so much fun. Play on the fun part of it. And you know, it's something that I love. It's just is to make it fun, because in the world right now, I don't know if it's because we have such, you know, advancement in our technology, in doctors' things, but it seems like those gluten allergies and strange allergies are, you know, maybe not so common. They're coming up everywhere, right? It seems like more and more people are gaining allergies to food. And so the awareness piece of it is such a huge part.
As you can see behind me, it's starting to snow, Val.
Oh, goodness. It's coming here in Central Oregon, and it's going to dump.
At least we're warm and inside.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Yes. So for someone who is, and I know this is something you and I have talked about, but, you know, there's so much like danger. I mean, honestly, even something like going out to dinner can be a little bit of a chore if you or someone with or someone in your life has allergies. So what has been your experience with that? And yeah, just share a little bit more about that.
Well, the first thing is pre-preparation. It's, if you're traveling, it's looking at the map, seeing what kind of foods are there, if you know you're going to be eating out. with my particular group of allergies, I normally can find things to eat at Indian restaurants, at Thai restaurants, and at Mexican restaurants if they're Mexican and not Mexican American. In other words, if there's not a lot of cheese and sour cream and stuff like that thrown in.
Mm.
If it's fish based and things like that, then I can find some good eats. If I am going somewhere and I can look at the menu, then I can say, what things do I need to bring with me? Do I need to bring my own salad dressing? Do I need to ask for a naked potato and I'll bring my own butter and my own sour cream? If it's someplace where I'm going to have coffee, I'm going to bring my own milk. I'm going to, or my own butter. And it's just being prepared and being willing to have a little tote with you that you bring in that has your goodies in it. I've never had anyone tell me I couldn't do that. And most of the time, if you tell people that you have certain sensitivities, they'll be aware of that. I have had some bad experiences. And the last time Chris and I flew somewhere, we were in an airport restaurant and I thought I found a meal that looked really good. And I checked all the ingredients on the menu. And the last thing the server did before they brought it to me is they squirted a whole bunch of ranch dressing on it because they thought that would make it better. Well, now we're short on time. I really can't send it back. I'm trying to pick around the ranch dressing. I ended up being sick on the next flight of the next leg of the flight. It just happens. I should have just said no. You kind of have to be willing to say, no, I just am not going to eat.
Yeah.
If we're traveling in the car or plane, I try to bring snacks with me because I can, I can do meat sticks. There's many things I can eat. I just have to pre-prepare and be ready to do that. And at the same time, you have to have a good attitude. You can't go into a restaurant and say, oh, woe is me. You're there if you're eating out, you're there for the company, for the experience, for the people. And you just have to get the mindset that you're not there for the food.
Yeah, that's huge. And I know that, so Monica just commented that she brings her own food to get-togethers also because it's easier. And, so I know that you're not alone in this. There's so many food allergies, sensitivities, having the autoimmune disease. I have a couple friends who are really hit with that. And there is kind of like almost, I feel through the experiences I've had with people that there's like a feeling of like isolation in that, maybe feeling different, maybe feeling, but what I'm hearing you say is, advocate for yourself and just in that shift of mindset. And that's something I love about you. You have this positive spin, right? Like you have a very positive spin. I don't think I've ever heard you complain about anything. Like, I don't, like you just have a very positive spin. And what I love about you is you saw this need and you were looking around saying, fulfill that need for people. And then a friend of yours was like, can you create a guide?
Right. And there, absolutely, and I know there's a lot of allergy websites out there and I know there's a lot of different things, but my combination is unique to me, just as your set of allergies is probably unique to you. I don't really worry about the peas too much. Like I said, pea protein is the biggest problem, but it also is, for me, the biggest reaction. And that is if I eat peas now, my throat starts to burn. It starts to shut. I don't have an EpiPen, but I can get through it okay at this point. Whereas the other ones, it might be a mood shift. It might be an upset stomach. Sometimes I feel like I've eaten a rock and it's just sitting just as a hard ball in my stomach. I used to say I feel like I've eaten a baby, and then I thought to myself, I've never eaten a baby. How would I know how that feels?
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say that. So now I just say it's a big rock.
Yeah, and feeling that lump, and it looks like Monica was saying that she had to change her eating habits due to allergies and cancer. She calls it eating to live. I love that. And I feel like that's very similar to the approach you take with, being the food allergy Avenger, like the superhero of it, where, it's just like anything else. Like if someone like, I don't drink alcohol, but where people are drinking alcohol, that's okay. I just don't take that, because I do have an abnormal reaction to alcohol. and for yourself, and not making it something that separates you from, but just having the awareness and the responsibility of bringing your own food, being prepared. What have you gone through with that? I know you shared about how when you traveled and you ate something, but what does that look like? I know that could be a little different with COVID going on, but what does it look like as far as, when you did have gatherings, or, birthday parties, Super Bowl parties, like you talked about? How did you face that?
Well, my first rule is that if I can get people to eat at my house, that's the best, because then I have total control over the food. I ask people not to bring food. I know they want to. I ask them not to do that. And that way I can have not only food for me, but then I find out if they have a special need. And it's made me much more inclusive to people if they say, oh, I really don't eat sugar. Okay, well, I can make something for you. Even if we have something, I can make you a fresh fruit plate or something. I can mold those things together because I understand now. And I understand how important it is and what kind of reactions you can have. But my first rule is eat at my house. I promise you won't go home hungry. And I promise you won't go home saying that was a good dairy-free meal, or that was a good gluten-free meal. You'll just say, hey, we really enjoyed that meal. A lot of times people don't even know that there are substitutes made. If I'm going somewhere, I'll perhaps bring a dessert. I have people that love my lemon cake. This weekend, I am experimenting. I'm going to be making a gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, wheat-free chocolate beer cake. Of course, the beer has to be gluten-free. I'm not a beer drinker, but I think it would be a good taste. So the alcohol will bake out. So we'll just see how that works. But I'm always trying different things and experimenting. And that's the key. Now, there is one problem in that there seems to be a lot of people that make products that really don't taste that good. That are out on the market. They taste like cardboard, or they have a bad smell, or a bunch of other things. And for an example, one of those things are croutons. I have not found a crouton yet in a bag that's gluten-free and egg-free that I like. So what do? Well, the day before, I make my own cornbread that, again, doesn't have any of the bad things in it. I let it dry out a little bit. I cube it. I put it in the oven, and I make my own croutons. There is one company out there, I believe you pronounce it Score, or it might be Shore, I'm not sure, but they actually have an egg-free, gluten-free bread that's quite good. And that's something else you can use to make your own croutons with. But again, it's just thinking ahead, and sometimes you have to start a day ahead of time. I make a good puff pastry, but it's almost an 8-hour project. And so it has to be started the day before. But I can make sausage rolls. I can make pinwheels. I can make a lot of things that are very, very delicious, but it takes some extra time.
And I love that, part of your story is that, you didn't want to be the person who's making 2 different meals when you and your husband are sitting down, and instead like opening up the possibility of, instead of just having 2 separate meals, you really wanted to create something that he would enjoy too, that if your friends come over, they're not going to say, oh my gosh, this is like not good. I love that you, where there was maybe limitation, you created possibility. That is so beautiful.
One example was for our anniversary. I decided I was going to make a Greek feast, which is feast is a strange word when there's just 2 of you. But I decided I wanted to make a Greek feast, and so I made a lamb roast in the slow cooker with a lot of herbs. I made a tomato pie, which is going to be the next recipe that'll be coming out in the 2 Cooks for Allergies. Should be coming out in the next day or 2. It was absolutely delicious. I made salad with the feta, not feta, cheese in it, and made tzatziki. I made hummus. I mean, it was just, it was everything you would find in a Greek restaurant, that without the dairy, without the milk, without the egg, without the wheat. And it was just the best meal. It was awesome.
Oh my goodness. You fascinate me. Like all this creativity you have inside of you. I want to bring it to the world. And I love that Laura just commented. She said she's been gluten-free for 7 years. Now also sugar, dairy, egg, GMO, corn-free. I'm always prepared to give my body what it needs to stay energetic and keep autoimmunity reversed. Congratulations on that, Laura. She said, nice work, Cheri. So, I see things like that and I'm just like, Cheri, see, people need you in the world, right? People need you and what you're doing. And for those of you who don't know, Cheri's a recent client of mine, and I've just had so much fun working with both her and her husband. Their level of creativity and knowledge and passion for what they do, like they are the real deal. They are really, she's so invested in this, and I can see the snow behind you now. She's so invested in this for no reason other than just because she's so passionate about what she does. And so I just want to sing your praises for a minute, because this is something that's huge. And I'm curious to know, with Laura's comment, she said that she's keeping her autoimmunity reversed. Was this something, and I don't know this about your story, was your autoimmunity tied to the allergies? Was it like a misdiagnosis? Does it keep it at bay with the allergy?
It improves the symptoms
Okay.
tenfold. I mean, I still have it. I still have problems. I still have flare-ups, but not anything. I mean, what sent me finally to get this test done was visiting Chris's mom and, eating way too many foods that I now know were bad for me, because it seemed like when we would get together, everything was eating or preparing to eat or eating or just finished eating. I mean, it was all dairy, all cheese, all eggs, all that stuff. And that night I couldn't sleep. I was in so much pain. I went out in the living room and just cried because I couldn't find a comfortable position. My skin was just flaring, and I couldn't get in a comfortable position. And that's what sent me off to find somebody that could help me.
Yeah. And I love that you took the holistic approach, because, sometimes, and I'm not knocking modern medicine or Western medicine at all, but however, we just talked about this a couple of days ago with a mental health specialist, talking about how, we need to advocate. If it's not working, if we're looking for more solutions, we need to advocate and figure out what does work. And, that's what I love about what you do, is that you have all of that laid out in your recipes. So if, anyone watching this, Monica, Laura, I would love for you guys to go check out her website, because you guys will be so impressed. It's beautiful. They have videos showing you exactly how to prep everything, how to bake everything. And then also like very laid out details of, what allergies, what's in it, nutritional content, everything. So they have a beautiful website that they've just poured their heart into. It's gorgeous. So definitely check it out. We're getting some hearts on that. Yay. Thank you guys. And, I love that you talked about how it cut down on your autoimmune. That's a piece that I think I think of one of my dear friends that she's really suffering with her autoimmune disease, and bringing awareness to the community of autoimmune disease as well. And, like if somebody is in that, like, I'm imagining the person who's watching this right now and they say, I have those symptoms. I'm recognizing, I'm relating with what you're saying. What kind of suggestions? And of course, I'm not saying this is not medically, a recommendation. We are not doctors. However, knowing what worked for you, what types of things could you suggest for those people?
Well, I'm learning more all the time. I'm learning that there's a difference between food sensitivity and food allergy.
Mm.
And in fact, I will be interviewing a doctor next week for my website that's going to be talking about allergy or food sensitivity and different things you can do and how to do some self-tests. I mean, it's great to go get the blood tests for the allergies, but if it's just a sensitivity, what does that mean? And what do you need to do to watch for? So there's always learning to be done. There's more and more stuff coming out all the time. There are all kinds of foundations that are doing research. I know that there's, for kids that have the peanut allergy, I know that there are some people back east, some of the universities that are actually trying to introduce small amounts of peanuts to try to get them over the sensitivity. Not something you want to try at home.
Mm-mm.
But they are trying various things. So, you know, it's what do you say? Everything that's old is new again. We're getting back to whole foods. We're getting back to cooking at home. We're getting back to not opening a can necessarily.
Yes.
And it's helpful. So as a slight teaser, I will tell you that Chris and I are developing a one-to-one dairy substitute for milk that we've had huge success with, and we're hoping to roll out in the May-June timeframe. But it actually is a one-to-one milk substitute. We've made everything from pancakes to puddings to, I mean, you name it, ice cream. I got an ice cream maker for my birthday, and we're able to make ice cream with it. And so I hope that people will go out to the Cheri's Allergy Adventure. That's the best place to get news about that when that product will be rolling out.
And please do, you guys. I'm like kind of squirming because I'm so excited. I have had the coach privilege of being able to test this product. And I'm not, you know, there's more to come, but just know if you are, you know, have allergies, if you are resonating with what Cheri's talking about, pay attention to this woman because she is up and coming, right? Like if you don't know her yet, go follow her, get on the website, get connected because there's so many exciting things coming up. I am in love with the products that will be coming out in the future. I'm in love with it. I love it. I had one of my clients over here. We were filming all day. We were drinking our coffee. I tried baking with it. It's amazing. And you guys, she has, I know you have a couple things coming up too. You have a summit for allergies. So you guys definitely, I will absolutely let you guys know too, but go follow her on twocooksforallergies.com. She has a summit coming out for food allergies
First
in
week
April.
of April, the day
April.
after Easter.
It's going to be amazing. You guys, if you love my summits, you're going to like love her. So go check that out as well. And you're also going to have a paid membership site for more exclusive content, right? You're going to have a membership site that's really affordable.
The Two Cooks for Allergies will remain free and open. And, you know, there's comments if you guys say, hey, we need to know how to make whatever it is you're thinking about. I don't know.
Yogurt.
Some kind of something. Yes. Actually, what's on my mind right now is fondue.
Oh, oh, now I want some fondue.
But let me know and I can check into it and I can do the research for you, and pretty soon it'll be out there. But the Cheri's Allergy Adventure, we're going to have a few things on the main page, but it's mostly going to be subscription. Our content is going to include the expert interviews, question and answer with me. I'm hoping to do a Cheri Cooks with Kids once a month, where you can get your food ahead of time, and then we can do some simple cooking. I think one of the first thing is going to be popcorn cookies.
Oh.
And so, and you know, just having access to all the guides and all the other things that we'll be putting out there. But it's definitely much more of a research learning area.
I'm so excited because I think that with the awareness coming, you know, with more food allergies, like I went through that in 2010, maybe. I actually found out that I am allergic to alcohol. I'm actually allergic to sulfites. And I had to go through that whole process of like cutting everything out, reintroducing, and realizing that was, and it was causing me like swollenness, red, like I get really red if I drink wine. And so like, and, you know, having worked in restaurants, I was a restaurant manager for a couple of years. And I mean, I would see it all the time, parents like struggling with that. Like, what can my kid eat? I don't know. And just watching how, you know, like, it's an extra layer of, you know, trying to enjoy going out and doing all those things. And, you know, I do know, speaking of going out and dining out, for when it's available, if it's not available in your area, I know there's people here from the UK. We've got someone watching from New Zealand. I believe Monica's in New Zealand. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Laura, I'm not sure where you're at, but you know, when people are able to dine out again, I know you have an amazing gift for our audience today that's watching. So can you tell us about that?
Sure. We have the Quick Start Dining Out Guide, and you can use it for food trucks. You can use it for all kinds of things. But of course, it was written prior to all of this craziness. But it does give you an idea of some of the things we've talked about. And it gives you 7 rules to remember when you're dining out, as well as a couple of my stories that I'm happy to share. And I am putting some blogs out in my site about some of the various things. If you are what you eat, I used to be a cheese ball.
Right.
And so I am writing that story up as well, and what it means to not be a cheese ball. But you know, it's an adventure. I just can't look at it as being something negative. It's an adventure, and I would love it if people could cook and their whole families would enjoy it. I know there are people that turn their nose up at gluten-free. They haven't had mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I've the worst part is my husband says, you're making me gain too much weight because you're making cookies and cakes and wonderful snacks and all this stuff. So sometimes I give my food away and people are amazed. They just always say, gee, I've tried cooking gluten-free. It didn't taste like this. Well, I'm getting better at it and I want to share it with you. And, you know, it's the sky's the limit of the things we can try. My ultimate test, the one thing I want to make that I haven't quite cracked yet, are deviled eggs. Now, how do you have deviled eggs when you can't have eggs?
Oh.
So I've got 2 different ways I'm going. One is the egg white will be a firm tofu. I have made the inside yellow mixture. I have got that down. It's just the shell. It's just the holding part. And I've also tried it with small little white potatoes.
Love
with
it.
The stuff cut out. So anyway, sometimes it's just the visual. You just need to see that item there. You just need to see that egg in there. There's great substitutes for frying, such as if you're making fried rice. That's one of our recipes out there. It's a wonderful substitute. It looks just like egg in your fried rice. It doesn't taste like egg. It doesn't taste like anything, but it's okay. It's the visual. You want to see it. That's why I say with eggs, it's so important to know how the egg is used.
Yes.
And that there are many, many different substitutions, and you just have to find the right one.
So I love it. Laura just commented, I'll be looking for that deviled egg recipe. I love it. So yes, I just put in the comments, you guys, I just put the link for her free dining out guide. Definitely go sign up for that and be watching, because let me tell you, when I tell you big things are coming up in the world of Cheri Redgrave, the food allergy adventure, I am telling you that is an understatement. She's going to be putting together a beautiful, amazing summit all around food allergies, because, you know, she wants to bring that awareness to the world and say that this doesn't have to be something that holds you back. This is something you can have fun with. You can enjoy your life. You can still do those things. So definitely, you know, connect with her on our website, get signed up to stay in touch with that. And she will have something very big coming out in the summer that that she shared about earlier. And it's going to be just, you guys, this is the woman to watch right here. And Cheri, go ahead.
You know, it's just real quick. It's, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of the non-dairy substitute products you have, whether it's oat milk or almond milk or hemp milk or whatever it is. It's mostly water.
Mm-hmm.
And you pour it into your gravy, and it's like pouring water in your gravy. And if you've had that experience, then you will appreciate the product that we're coming out with.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, baking cookies and then they just go, boo, done it. Been there, done it. Not fun. Now my dog's moving my camera. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, Cheri. You are literally like, you know, I've just gotten the pleasure to work with you, and I'm just having so much fun with your brand and everything that you've got going on. And I'm excited to get this out in the world, because you know what, food allergies is something that clearly, you know, we have ladies on here right now that are feeling that, you know, whether if that's an allergy or if it's a chosen lifestyle. I know a lot of people choose not to use as much dairy or gluten because it does cause inflammation or uncomfortability in their body.
Well, being plant-based, there's a lot to be said for it. I am still a meat eater because it's the one thing I can have that I enjoy. But a lot of my recipes, without the dairy, without the eggs, you know, it's plants.
I love it. And you're going to serve so many people. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for coming on here today and just really serving our audience in a way that is beautiful, powerful. You are the food allergy Avenger. I love it. And yeah, I know people will connect with you. So remind us again, where can they find you? Oh, you're getting like a ton of hearts and thumbs up. Thank you guys. Oh, Iona, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you just got like a ton of love there in the live. So where can people find you? If you can remind us again, the website, and how can they connect with you as well?
If they get the quick start guide, then they'll be on my email list, and that's the easiest way to connect. Our website is 2 Cooks 4 Allergies, and that's the number 2 and the number 4 because I have 4 allergies. So that's where the recipes are. And then Cheri's Allergy Adventure will be coming out this month.
I will put that here in the comments as well. 2cooks4allergies.com. Sign up on the link I dropped in there. 2 Cooks for Allergies. Well, Cheri, thank you so much. I am so grateful for you. And I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for what's to come. So thank you so much. All right, guys, thanks for catching our live. Don't forget to go follow Cheri. She's amazing. She's doing incredible things in the world, and we will catch you later. Bye.